Children's literature or juvenile literature includes stories, books, magazines, and poems that are made for children. Modern children's literature is classified in two different ways: genre or the intended age of the reader. Children's literature can be traced to stories such as fairy tales that have only been identified as children's literature in the 18th century, and songs, part of a wider oral tradition that adults shared with children before publishing existed. Hello everyone, good day. I am Sheila May Idolion, a BS Ed English student from Cebu Technological University, Barili campus. And welcome back to another video. In this video, we will compare children's book to adult's book using graphic organizer for us to easily understand and get the comparison between the two selections. So, without further ado, let's start. Now, let us see first their differences. In children's literature, we have the illustration, the plot lines, the characters, the optimistic, repetition, and the contrast extremes. First, we have the illustration. Books for young children are often highly illustrated. This serves to engage the child's interest and imagination, and also to reinforce the meaning of words that they encounter on the page of the book. Naturally, books for pre-literate children emphasize illustration ever more, since the expectation is that a parent will read to the child, who will listen to the story, but also engage with the pictures in the storybook. Next, we have optimistic. In children's book or other selections of children, there is always hope, foreshadowing, and other elements to raise spirits periodically. Next one is the characters. In children's book, the characters are all children, and it includes childhood events, actions, and happenings. Also, we have these plot lines. Plot lines in children's books are generally very simple for the youngest readers and emphasize topics with which they are most familiar with, like for example, family, pets, schools, and etc. Both plots and range of topics become increasingly sophisticated as the intended audience becomes older. Next is repetition. Children's literature includes repetition. Often, it emphasizes what is important. Repetition is a common element of traditional tales, folk tales, and fairy tales, as well as for literary purposes by repeating words, phrases, situations, and patterns. And the last one is the contrast extremes, the good and the bad, the ideal and the practical, the ideal family in the orphan, home and wilderness, or deep dark forest with all kinds of evil, group and family, responsibility, and concern for ourselves, yourself, ourselves. Now, let us proceed to the adult books. First, there we have viewpoint. Stories are told from the viewpoint of young people. Most young adult fiction is told from a first-person perspective and is written from the eyes of young adult. There may be a multiple perspectives or plot lines in a single work, but they will all most likely be told from the perspective of a teenager. Essentially, teenagers like to read about other teenagers, even if the story doesn't necessarily center on a young adult. It will often told from a youngster's perspective. Now let's have fast-paced. Young adults literature is fast-paced. Why? Many teens struggle to read for enjoyment at all, let alone willingly plow through a lengthy novel on their own initiative. Most adult fiction is quick to read and quick to develop. In order to accomplish this task, the adult genre is often marked by a limited number of characters and narrative events. Furthermore, the language flows naturally and changes and develops with the current times. Next is the genres and subject. While I often refer to it simply as a fiction, the genre is really more than that. Young adults take interest in nonfiction, poetry, drama, science fiction, historical fiction, and even graphic novels, to name just a few. Teens' tastes vary just as much as adults. They like to read about a variety of subjects and issues in a number of different literary forms. And the last one is the emotions. At a time in life when hormones often rule, teens take particular interest in emotions and want to see them accurately represented in the fiction they read. Often books deal with similar emotional struggles, acquiring more mature social skills, achieving emotional independence from parents and other adults, and achieving a masculine or feminine sex roles. By following the development of these feelings in a fictional character, teens are often able to work out their own angst and emotional struggles. Okay, now let us proceed to their similarities. First, we have it provides entertainment, and the second one is it gives moral lesson. First, we have it provides entertainment. Both children and adult books provide entertainment to the readers, of course, whether it's reality or a fantasy. It entertains us no matter how simple or complex the story may be. It offers a sense of joy. They can make us laugh or cry by giving us a character we want to care about. And the last one, it gives moral lesson. In most literatures, both children and adult books, there is always a moral lesson to the stories for us readers to be able to learn and teach ourselves how to behave in the world, how to be a better person, and also how to be